This fucking phone.
Hi guys, welcome to our Tuesday night team Zoom. My name is Noelle Cruz. I'm here with Brittany Austin, both Presidential Diamonds. Make sure you guys keep yourselves muted or we might hear some fun things in the background. That's always fun. But like I told you guys earlier, we have a heavy Zoom that is hopefully going to lighten your load. So we're actually going to jump straight into just watching a couple minutes of a sermon. I want you to listen to a couple of these clips, and then we're going to talk about some things. So let me screen share and take it away.
A quickening right there. But if your boss came to you and just told you, hey, I know that you've been working really hard and things have been happening, or if you're in school or whatever you're doing.
Sorry, give me just a second, you guys. I got to go back just a minute. Okay.
But if your boss came to you and just told you, hey, I know that you've been working really hard and things have been happening, or if you're in school or whatever you're doing, I see how hard you're working. Hey, listen, I want to make a deal with you. For the rest of this year, I want you to take one day off. And I'm going to still pay you. And I'm going to still give you the grade. And I'm going to still act like you were here. But I don't want you to come in. I don't want you to do any schoolwork. I don't want you to email anybody. I want you to take the day off and I want you to rejuvenate. There are people in here that would beat people up to have that happen in their job situation. There are people in here that would say, sign me up for that today.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is
guys.
Zach Wendell, the author of the Bible Study. And today I want to give you a sneak peek into what the Bible.
But the saddest part that I'm finding is in the body of Christ, there are more burnt out people, more people who are workaholics. There are some people who are lazy and they don't get the results that they want to see, so they work in other ways to manipulate and do all these other things. And God was telling me, he said, Michael, my people need to understand that I really am a good father. And we're talking about Throwback Sunday. I want to throw it back to God's original intent for every person that came into this world was to work for 6 days and to rest 1 day a week. And some of y'all is like, you don't know my bills. Pastor Mike, you don't know this debt that I have. You don't know the kids that I have been given. Yes, he does. He knows everything about you, but it's a principle that most of us have not taken to heart. We're out here trying to provide for ourselves when God tells us he will provide for us. It really becomes a trust issue. And I'm gonna walk us through the word, because some of y'all are like, rest. I don't even think it's that important. I don't even work that hard. I don't even know what's happening. But I'm going to help you understand one of the greatest principles that God ever gave. And I want you, by the end of this message, to have an understanding, or at least an appetite, to be able to work very hard for 6 days a week and rest 1 day a week to honor God. And so I want us to go right now to Exodus chapter 20. Exodus chapter 20. And I'm going to start reading this scripture. And this is God giving the children of Israel commandments. And I want us to look at this. It says, remember to observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy, which means set apart. You have 6 days each week for your emails, your hairstyling, your investing, making deals, or ordinary work. Whatever your work is, you have 6 days a week to do that. But the seventh day is the Sabbath. Everybody say Sabbath. It's the Sabbath day of what? Rest. And it's dedicated to the Lord. That word dedicated means devoted. That means even if I want to do something, I take away my vote. I have dedicated or devoted this to God. It says, on that day, no one in your household may do any work. This includes you, your sons, your daughters, your male and female servants, your livestock. How can cows work? But he said, tell your cow, tell your heifer, take a day off. She said, "Moo." Okay, anyway, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. It's this sweater. It's this dad's sweater. Help me. Okay. Not your livestock, any foreigners living among you. For in 6 days, listen, the Lord made the heavens, the earth, the seas, and everything in them. But on the seventh day, what did God do? I want you to see the power in that statement.
All right, and then we're going to watch one more segment. Hold on. Okay.
Us live the best life that we could ever live. So I want you to see.
Oh, hold on.
Reading that Bible just drove a wedge between me and my club brothers.
I want out. You need my.
Because some of y'all just looking at me like, is that what you wanted to tell us today, Pastor Mike? Check this out. Go to Exodus chapter 16. Because there are reasons God wants you to rest, and I want to tell you some of them. The first reason that God wants you to rest is it gives God the opportunity to provide for you supernaturally. When you take that one day and say, God, I'm not gonna put my hands to this, I'm gonna trust you with it. It gives God the opportunity to provide supernaturally. Look at Exodus 16, verse 23. This is God talking to Moses. He said, this is what the Lord commands. He said, tomorrow will be a day of, everybody say this next two words with me, complete. Tomorrow will be a day of complete rest, a holy Sabbath day set apart for the Lord. It's set apart for the Lord. So bake, boil, and fry as much as you want today. I added that fry in there. Y'all saw that real quick. Bake and boil for me. And set aside what is left for tomorrow. It says, so they put some aside until morning, just as Moses had commanded. And in the morning, the leftover food was wholesome and good, without maggots and odor. I want you to understand, this is when God is providing manna from heaven. They're in the wilderness, and every day he's providing this porridge for them. And that's what I was told when I was a kid. But just something to eat. He was giving them, and it's literally, manna means what is it? So they didn't even know what it was, but it was enough to nourish them. But people started getting greedy, and they tried to store it up for the next day. So the manna would come down, they would take it, and they would try to put it away. But every day that they put it away, the next morning it would be rotted. There would be maggots and worms and pesticides in it. And so what God is saying right here is he's saying, I didn't provide every other day. He said, but if you take the Sabbath, if you take a day off on the sixth day, I'm going to provide double so that you do not have to work on the seventh day. I want you to hear this principle right here. It said, Moses had commanded them in the morning that leftover food was good without maggots and odor. So they was like, oh shoot, this works. Verse 25, Moses said, eat this food today, for today is the Sabbath day dedicated to the Lord. Now watch this. There will be no food on the ground today. You may gather the food for 6 days, but the seventh day is the Sabbath. There will be no food on that day on the ground. Let me say it another way. There will be no provision on the day that is supposed to honor God with rest. So what does that look like in my life, Pastor Mike? We're working, we grinding, and God's providing and all this other stuff. He said, take this next day off. Because if you don't, you out there by yourself. There will be no provision for you on this day. And some people are saying, Pastor Mike, that's extreme. I want you to see this in the word. This is a commandment that God is so serious about. There will be no provision for you. That means all the emails I send, all the favor I had all week, the business deals that were being made, all the things I was trying to do. God said, I'm not working with you on this day because you're not supposed to be working on this day. You're supposed to be resting and you're supposed to be honoring me. Now, if we look at our lives, how many of our lives are really like that? Consistently where we are resting and honoring God with our lives. Look at it. I want you to just see it. Verse 28, it said, the Lord asked Moses. No, verse 27. Some of the people, like some of the people here, went out anyway on the seventh day but they found no provision. This will be the testimony of your life. I'm so tired, Pastor Mike. I'm just always grinding. I'm just always working. Have you rested lately? Or have you been trying to work where there's no provision? Have you intentionally set up your schedule and talk to your job and talk to your family and talk to your kids to be in a place where you're able to honor God? And I'm not talking about just being a lazy bum and just saying, the Lord has called me to Sabbath. I have to have my Sabbath every day. Some of y'all want to take Sabbath 4 days a week. That's not God, okay? But many of us, I'm talking to those who do work. I'm talking to those who do whatever God has called you to do, okay? One of those days has to be taken off to honor God.
All right, you guys. So, I was on a Zoom. I watched a Zoom this last week, and then I watched the sermon, and I highly recommend that if this is like intriguing you at all, and that if the topics we cover tonight are interesting to you at all, I highly recommend that you watch this entire sermon, and I'll give you guys the link a little bit later, or somebody can throw it in the chat here. You guys, like, I was so convicted when I was listening to this Zoom by Rachel Wiggum and when I listened to this sermon, because I recognized that I started working when I was 15 years old, and I have never taken a day off since that time. That's 20, how old am I? I'm 36. Somebody do the math. That's a lot of years, you guys. That's a lot of years of not taking a Sabbath, not being obedient to what God has called me to do as far as my schedule is concerned, running myself thin. And I wanted to apologize to all of you, because on my team, this is like, we're like hashtag team no sleep, right? Like, if you're not grinding, you're not working. What are you doing sleeping? You should be working for your promotion, right? Like, that's how we've always operated. And it's just been like this thing, like, you know, your doors need to be open 365 days a year. I don't care if you're in the hospital, or if you're, you know, giving birth to a baby, or if, you know, your husband had a heart attack. Not really, but you guys know what I mean. Like, we have always, like that's always what I've taught you guys, is that we need to be the best of the best 365 days a year. Keep your doors open. And when I listened to this sermon, I was like totally convicted, and I was like, I'm trying to do this all in my own strength. And I'm not giving God the opportunity to put the super on my natural. And I was like, we have to make a change. And so I sat down and I watched the sermon with my husband, and we decided, like, right away, we were like, okay, like this last Saturday, we were driving back home from Virginia, and we decided that starting like this week, Saturdays are going to be our Sabbath. And we're going to talk more about that, and we're going to dig into some of that. But I wanted to have some people on. Brittany, can you just, like, you're the polar opposite of me. You have always, I mean, as long as I've known you, like, Sundays are your day. You're not on your phone. You're with your family. You're doing church stuff. So can you kind of like speak to this from the opposite side of things?
Yes, guys. When Noelle messaged me and she's like, I think I want to talk about this on our Tuesday night Zoom, I was like, yes, I'm so pumped. So you guys, my grandfather, pastor, grew up in church. It was all about the Sabbath and keeping Sundays holy and all of the things. And let me tell you this. It's funny because I know Noelle messaged me the other week and she was like, hey, do you want to talk on Sunday? And I was like, well, I can't. That's our family day. I was like, but I got you on Monday, girl. And so for me, Sundays is definitely our day that I really try to take for our family. We do church. After we do church, we go to family lunch. After family lunch, y'all, we come home and take a dang nap because I love my Sunday naps. Then we usually will cook out. We'll have family dinner. We'll play games. We'll go for a walk in the neighborhood. We just really try to do those things. And guys, I'll be the first to tell you, there are days that I'm guilty of kind of like checking things in team chats, because the first thing I usually do in the morning, my team knows, is I get up and I put a task up for the day. And so one thing as CJ and I were talking this week, is that's what I told him. I said, so what I'm going to start doing from now on in our team chat, I'm going to start putting up that task. I'm going to start putting that task up on Saturday night, like late Saturday night. So then everybody has that for Sunday morning. So for me, it is one of those things I do feel like I have done very well taking Sunday off. And my team will tell you, I've heard other leaders in this business say things like, I'm exhausted. I work all the time. My team will tell you, chick over here ain't exhausted, because I make time for me. I make time for my family, and I make time for my relationship with the Lord. And I feel like that's something, that we need to be doing not only daily, but we need to be taking that time away with him, with our family, to rejuvenate on Sundays. Because guys, the last thing you want to do is get burnt out. You don't want to get burnt out. And I feel like, being in this business 8 years, Noel being in this business 8 years, Noel, that's one thing you can agree on, is it's easy to get burnt out, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to get exhausted. It's easy to get burnt out. So take that day. But what I told Noel I really wanted to touch on really quick is, when we tell you to take that day with your family, take that day with the Lord, that doesn't mean take 4 more days like that. Because I feel like what happens is, if we say, take that day, it ends up being where, you'll have 4 other days like that. And it's like, well, I did it on Sunday. So if I took it on Sunday, then your girl's off Saturday too. Your girl's off on Friday. I got the whole weekend off. And that's the thing, you guys, is like they said in the video, in the scripture, I really truly believe in my heart of hearts and everything that work your business and do everything with all of your heart as you're doing it for the Lord 6 days a week, and then take that on Sunday. Guys, you are the only one that knows how much hard work you're putting into your business. I told my team earlier, we were on a power hour. And my team knows I'm red. My team knows I will call everybody out in a heartbeat. We were on there, and I don't know what y'all are doing behind your screens. I don't. You guys see me. I want you to see me working my business. But only you guys know what you put into your business every day. You guys are the only ones that know that. I don't know that, but God knows that. He knows if you're being lazy. He knows if you're working your business. And so what I'm saying is, be true to him, because y'all know God does not like laziness. And I can throw up scripture after scripture after scripture on that, guys. God has you here for a reason. He can use this business to change your life. He can use this business. He can use this business to take a broken person and make them whole again. Guys, I could literally talk to you guys all day about literally 2 team members within the last 2 days have told me that one of the perks of this business is the way that the relationship has grown with the Lord, the way the relationship has grown with their husbands, their family. Guys, this business is one of the only businesses that I have ever been a part of that truly believes in taking Sundays off and truly believes in having a relationship with the Lord and your family and all of the things. You're not going to find that anywhere else. I promise you that. But work your business the other 6 days of the week. It doesn't matter if you are on vacation. Y'all, guess what? Chick went to the beach a couple of weeks ago, signed 9 more customers while I was there. Guess what? I'm going back to the beach for a week on Sunday. Do you think I'm taking 7 days off? Absolutely not. But will I take one Sunday when we leave to go to the beach? Guess what? You're not going to hear from me more than likely throughout the day. I'll be honest, y'all. I do like to get on that call on Sunday night. I do, because I'm nosy. I like to jump on there. That's what Noelle said. She said, well, you can listen to it on Monday morning. I'm like, that's the red in me. That's going to be super hard for me. So you might see me Sunday night, after I've got all my stuff done. But guys, take that time for your family. Don't get burnt out. And work your business. It doesn't matter, you guys, if you're on vacation. Guys, I have worked my business during family divorces. I've worked my business when my best friend died of a drug overdose. I've worked my business through 2 pregnancies, a C-section. I've worked my business through, I think I've had 7 family members die since I've been in this business. I have worked my business through the flu. I've worked my business through vacations. I've worked my business through life, guys. I've worked my business through life, but like I tell my team every day, you have to work your business based off of what you want your future to look like and not how you feel right now. Because guys, you're going to wake up some days and you're going to feel like crap. You're going to wake up some days on vacation and you're going to be like, man, I ain't doing this today. But guys, guess what? You're working your business for the freedom of time. That's what this business can buy you. Guys, now we're able to pick up and go to the beach and do all of the things because God put this business in our life. Take time for Him. Take time for your family. But make sure that every day you are working your business, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, you guys, you are the only one that knows how much grind you're putting in every day. You cannot cheat the hustle, y'all. Simple as that.
So good. Okay, so I want to hear. I'm gonna call on a couple of my diamond leaders who all have a very different experience. So I put this Zoom out to my diamond leaders when it came across my desk, and I was like, we have to talk about this. This is important. And so they all watched it. They all have a different story. So I'm actually going to ask Amanda Marshall to share with you guys first, because Amanda's going to share her story with you and kind of just tell you her quick background story, how long she's been in the business, and what this has looked like or not looked like for her family.
Hi guys, I'm Amanda Marshall. I'm a double diamond and I've been in the business 7 years. So real long time. It doesn't seem like that long, but it's been a while. So when I started this business, I started because my husband was getting out of the military and we needed some extra money because we had a 9-month-old, really wanted to stay home. You guys, I am not new to grinding. Okay. From the time I was 14, my parents have always been entrepreneurs. They've always been business owners. I've seen them work themselves to the bone. So hard work never scared me. I started waiting tables at my parents' restaurant when I was 14. At the time I was 18, when I got married at 19, I was working 3 jobs and going to school full time. Like, hard work has never scared me. So when this came into my life, I was like, oh, I get to determine how hard I work? I could do that. Okay, cool, bring it. And so I had quick success with this business. I was able to get to Ruby within my first month and a half, and then kind of slowed down because life, we know how that goes. And then Diamond in my first year and Double in my second. And something that my husband and I, when we decided we were going to take this business really seriously, we sat down. Do that with your husband. If you're new to this, just sit down and have a talk. If you're going to do this for real, okay? Talk to your family about it because they need to be on board. We had a discussion and he was like, yeah, I'm totally on board. Let's do this. Let's run for it. But we need to have one day that's just family, okay? So that was our day on Sundays. We were like, that's our family day. Put my phone down, didn't work. And I did that from Diamond all the way through Double to getting my husband to Double. And then I was like, wait, but I want Triple. And I, in my mind, thought, okay, well, I just worked my butt off to go Double and get my husband Double. Now I need to work harder to get to Triple. Okay, which, yeah, you got to work hard to get to VIP. Like, we know that. We're not going to dance around that. But I started to make sacrifices in areas that I shouldn't. And those sacrifices came in forms of my family, my marriage, my time with them, my relationship with God. All of those things kind of took a back seat because I was prioritizing getting to the next level in my business. Guys, I'm still a double diamond, so it didn't work, okay? So that prioritization, it took me years. I've been sitting at Double for a few years now, and it took me a long time to really realize, oh, my priorities are super out of whack. And so I really took a step back, and just recently this sermon also really hit me hard because I was like, when was the last time I didn't pick my phone up? And my husband, he's just as bad as I am. We're always on our phones, and we have 4 little kids under 7. So I've always got like ask my leaders. Patty and Marie are on here trying to get through a phone conversation with me is interesting. So Patty's just shaking her head. She really enjoys it. So, I really put that on the back burner and was like, nope, I got to push. Something I saw on TikTok today, it just made me, I had to say this. Okay, so have you guys seen the watermelon challenge with the rubber bands? Okay, so basically you take a watermelon and you start putting a ton of rubber bands in the same spot around it over and over and over again. And in my mind's eye, this is what I saw. Like, okay, that's starting your business while balancing family life, balancing your relationship with God, balancing your team as your team grows, training your team, answering questions for them, answering questions for their potentials while still building your business. Like each and every single one of these things is being added, and you're not taking a break. You don't take that Sabbath. Guess what happens when they get to too many rubber bands? That watermelon splits in half. It explodes. You need to look it up. It's really cool to watch, okay? But my point is, if you keep adding too much, you're going to explode. And that's when you hit burnout. That's when you no longer enjoy your business. And you guys, I love what I do. I have such a passion for helping other people and helping people succeed in this business and helping them get healthy. I'm super duper yellow. So that's like what drives me. But when I don't enjoy my business anymore, I'm going to find literally anything else to do, okay? So when you hit that point of burnout, this business, and I've said this to my team over and over and over again, this business is the easiest thing to be like, peace, and go do something else. Because you can put your phone down. You can make up an excuse to not work anymore. It's super, super easy to do. I say super a lot, I'm figuring that out on this. But my point is, if you don't take a break, take time for your family, take time for your relationship with God, take a breather. And especially right now, guys, you can ask, like, again, my leaders, I'm a little bit empathic. So I pick up on people's feelings and people's moods super easily. There we go again with that word, but real easily. Okay. And it exhausts me when I see a lot of chaos. And so right now, I'm not going to lie, with our insane world, I get exhausted being on social media. Like I will put my phone down at the end of the night and pass out because I am just worn out. And giving yourself a day to just say, I don't have to be on my phone. I don't have to be on social media. I had a Zoom with my team last night, like my personally enrolled outside of my diamonds. And I was like, so guys, on Saturdays, you're not going to hear from me. I'm going to be with my family. I'm going to turn my social media off. I'm going to have a leader in there that they can help you if you need it. But I have to take that for me and for my family. My babies deserve that, you guys. And I know a lot of us on here are working this business for our kids. And I have somebody, my baby's turning 8. My first baby is turning 8 on Saturday. And it breaks my heart. And I know that, I never get confused in the fact that I'm working hard to get to a point where I have full financial and time freedom. But it's difficult. And the mom guilt hits hard when your babies come up and say, gosh, mom, can you just put your phone down and hang out with us? Mm-hmm. Like gut wrenching, like literally I feel pain in my chest when I hear that from my kids. And so giving myself permission to just walk away and devote an entire day to them and to my family and to my marriage and to God, like you're going to wake up the next day so refreshed and so just ready to go for it again. You've given yourself that break. So then you're excited to work the next day. Then it's not exhausting. Then you're not just drudging through the trenches of answering people back. That's how I know when my team members are getting exhausted is when they're like, oh, I have messages like just sitting in my inbox and I don't want to message them back. And I'm like, I wish I had messages just chilling in my inbox, send them my way, and you don't ever want to get to that point in your business. So make sure you take this day. I can tell you, like, my most successful time in this business and my highest paychecks were when I prioritized taking an entire day off. So I'm going to hand it over to Patty or Marie, whoever that is next.
That sounds good. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing your story. Okay, I want to talk to Patty first because, well, Patty decided to start this last week, and I want her to share with you what her experience was.
Hey guys, my name is Patty Miller. I'm a diamond with It Works, and I'm also a 7-year person. Lucky number 7, y'all. Counting on it. But here's a crazy thing. So I'm not as noble as Amanda. I wanted to make money, and that was it. I wasn't worried about helping people. I wasn't worried about all of the things that I should be worried about. Okay. When I first started, I was going through a divorce, abusive marriage. I wanted to just get out. And I wanted to be able to pay for that without adding that debt to me as a single mom. And so I basically became a dealer, sold wraps, paid for my divorce, ended up paying between doing that, going diamond and doing all the things. I ended up paying off my house, my car, doing a lot of great things. However, I've been a diamond for 4 years. So I wasn't doing something right. Okay. And just like Brittany said, something about it works. Like, you just can't avoid God with it works. Like, it is there. And when I first started, I thought it was a cult. Kind of freaked me out a little bit. I remember the conversation, called up Noelle, said, "What'd you get me into?" Just creeped me out a little bit. But I wasn't comfortable with spirituality at the time. And I know there's a lot of people that are in it works that are not. And that's okay. And one of the things I told my team is there's people on my team who are not spiritual as far as the God thing. They might be Wiccan, they might be something else, but a day off could be for anybody. A day of just rest and taking care of yourself and being with your family. It doesn't have to be God related. It's about the core, your family base, your own peace of mind, all of that. So Marie and I have been like working on devotionals. I'm like a little newborn in the spirituality thing, and we're doing devotionals and we're doing this stuff. And we were on the same Zoom as all the diamonds and above when they talked about the Sabbath day. And literally while we were on the Zoom, we're texting each other, what day is our day? What are we going to do? Like, we immediately were like, a day off, because I'm a green and I'm a workaholic. So what I've always done is I've worked less on Saturdays, because my rationale was that's the slowest day on social media, because I do all the numbers, I do all the statistics. So I knew that. And I'm like, okay, easy win. I'll just pick up my phone every few hours instead of have it attached to my face. Okay. But it wasn't really a day off. So we were talking, and I was like, I got to do Saturday. I just got to do it. Like, we're just doing it. And she picked hers. And the way we did it was, because we kind of tag team a lot of stuff, her Sabbath day just happens to be the opposite of mine. So when she's on Sabbath, I cover her team. When I'm on Sabbath, she covers mine. And it works out really well. And this past one was really weird because I am divorced. So my daughter goes to see her dad. So on the day she sees her dad, I actually switch it a tad. I do Saturday night to Sunday night. I don't do the whole Saturday. But when she's home, I want the whole day with her. Okay. So what I did is I did total self-care, facials, eye patches, shaved my legs, took a hot shower. I was in bed by 8 after I did a prayer. Like, I can't even look. I don't even know when I went to bed by 8. I can't remember that. And I was just like, this is amazing. Sabbath is amazing. Like, I was so pumped. And then the next day I listened to an audio book, like almost the whole book, because I'm always listening to them in pieces because I'm always working. So I never get the full meaning of the book. So I was like listening to the whole book. I was like, this is amazing. And I really was anxious about it because I didn't know if I could not pick up my phone. I didn't know if I could do that. And you guys, it is literally like a fifth limb. Like, I don't know about you, but it's like a fifth limb. So you feel lost. I did feel that little bit of, I was like, what should I be doing right now? Like, I literally would look around like, I don't even know what to do with my life. Like, okay, everything's done. What am I supposed to do? So it's a little bit of an adjustment because it was so amazing. And what was great was when I went back to my phone Sunday night, I literally felt like I was in the honeymoon phase again with my business. I don't know if that makes sense. But you guys know, like when you go on a date night or, you do something you haven't done in a really long time, and it's like, oh, it feels so new again. That's how I felt Sunday night. I was like, oh, the family call's coming. I'm never that pumped about a family call. I'm like, okay, it's a family call. I got to schedule it in. Like, I was excited. I was like, oh, look at all these messages. I felt so popular. It was great. It was great. So that was my experience. It was awesome. You definitely have to do it.
I love it. I'm so excited. And you guys, you can pick your day. That's the thing. Like on the Zoom that I asked you to watch before this Zoom, Rachel Wiggum's day with her husband outside of basketball season is Wednesdays. I don't know who's unmuted, but oh, here we go. Sorry. So you can pick your day, and you need to pick whatever day is good for your family. The reason my family picked Saturday is because my husband has Saturdays off like 99.9% of the time for the next 2 years. After that 2 years, his schedule is going to go back to completely sporadic and there's nothing predictable. But I know that once a month he has to fly on Sundays, which means that once a month he wouldn't be able to take a Sabbath, and I don't want to change it. That's a whole nother part of that Zoom. Like all the information's in there. So if you haven't watched that, after this, go back and watch it. But you get to pick your day. And Marie took her first Saturday, or her first Sabbath, this last Saturday, and had kind of an interesting experience. And I wanted her to share with you guys, because I feel like this is something that people are going to encounter, especially if you're a leader in this business. And I think it's super, super important just to hit on. So hi, Marie.
Hey guys. So my name is Marie Jones. I've been in the company, this August will be 6 years, and I am a diamond. So as everybody else on here, like last Wednesday when we were on the Diamond and Above training with Cami, and like Patty said, we were just really convicted of like, okay, so we need to do this. This is the next step in our journey. I need to figure out a day. And she's like telling me, okay, well, you can't work. And I'm like, I got that. And she's like, no, you're not understanding. You cannot work. And I was like, okay, I'll pray about it. So like I was praying and I was just like, okay, I just need to figure out a day. So then I got convicted for Friday night into Saturday night for my Sabbath, a whole 24 hours. And that just really works with my family. But I didn't do it Friday night because I was still praying about it, still trying to figure out clarity about it. And then Saturday morning I woke up, and I was actually telling Patty this. I woke up and I was like, oh, I got to show everybody my celery. I didn't even feel like showing everybody like me taking my celery that morning. And I was like, okay, this is like the Lord telling me like, I need to start my Sabbath. So I immediately like sent voice messages to my team, told them, hey guys, I'm starting my Sabbath. This is what I'm doing. Sent them a screenshot of what I posted on my Instagram and on my Facebook stories. And I immediately closed everything out because I know myself. And if I got one message, I feel like the Lord sends like little tests out to you to like see if you're really going to like follow through with obedience. I like closed it out because I was like, if I see one message, I'm going to start working, and I cannot do it. So I had a little bit of anxiety about it because I have always been team no sleep. Like when I went Diamond, I literally did not sleep. Like Amanda would have to tell me to go take a nap or go to bed because I was like, no, I need to get my promotion. So all day I was like, I keep opening the apps and they're logged out and stuff. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, why do I have this habit? Like, this is so bad. But later that night I had a DT that like was about to cancel. And I was just like, nope, I'm not talking business. We can talk about it tomorrow. And my husband like literally took over, and he was just like, we're doing Sabbath and this is the only information we're going to give you, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. And I was just like, why do I have to be tempted? Like, why is this such a temptation? And one thing that I just remembered, even while everybody else was talking, is like Rachel Wiggum said something that was so amazing. She said two things that were amazing about having, you know, God put the super in your natural. But the other thing is that like, guys, think about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is closed every single Sunday. I know for a fact that half of the people like crave Chick-fil-A on Sunday and they're closed, but they like hustle and grind literally from Monday to Saturday, and they're closed on Sunday. And everybody still wants their stuff. Like, I feel like our company that is a faith-based company is like Chick-fil-A. Like, just imagine if nobody worked on a Sunday. Like, how much we would be like all the way in the billions with our company. I truly feel that because our product is so good. It's just like those memes that like we look at that says like Chick-fil-A chicken is the Lord's chicken. Well, It Works products is the Lord's products because we're way better than any other products. Like, our stuff is the bomb. And I truly believe that. And when you like do a Sabbath, you feel recharged, you feel refreshed, you feel rejuvenated, you just feel like a different perspective, and you're not so burnt out. Like, I have been there where it's like so many times I feel burnt out that I'm just so frustrated that I like just start crying, and I call Amanda and Patty and I'm just like, I don't even know what's wrong with me. And they're just like, just take a day. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't even know how to rest. Like, what is that? Like, no, like I'll take 30 minutes, but not a whole 24 hours. Yep. And I just think it was a good challenge for me because it's showing my team like, hey, when I tell you that you need to rest, I need to also like step up to the plate and rest. So the fact that even after my Sabbath, like half of my team like contacted, was like, okay, I'm in it. I'm doing this with you. This is going to be great. And I'm like, holy crap, that was quick for an impact. And then I had like, guys, I opened up my notification. And it was like, me and Patty were like, holy notifications. Like we both like canceled out. I was like, yeah, like I got a lot of potentials. Like, did you? And she's like, yeah. So it's just amazing whenever you just reset your perspective and put your eyes on Jesus for 24 hours. Cause he literally comes to just show out, and it's just amazing. And I challenge every single one of you guys, even the ones that have anxiety about it, just do it one time and just trust him. And you can literally pray through the whole day. Like, Lord, I have issues with this, but I'm going to let you know, and I'm going to bring it to your feet. Here we are. You already know I'm frustrated, and he's going to listen to you, and he's going to help you out. So it's been really good. I'm super excited.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And you guys, like, decide, okay, if you're married, watch the sermon with your spouse. First of all, that's your first step. Second thing is to decide, what are you going to do as a family? That's really important, that you're both on board, and then stick to it. You don't get to change your day. Like, that's not a thing, because if you're like, oh, well, this week, like, we've got basketball, and then this week we've got a, like, whatever, like, okay, like, but decide what's work for you. And then, like, because the idea, like, for us, like, we decided we're not going to have any phones and no tablets, but we're not going to say no electronics, because if we want to sit down and watch a movie as a family, we're going to do that. Right? So you need to figure out, what is it going to be for you? But for me and Dusty, I'm on my phone all the time. He's on his phone all the time. So for him, it's no news. It's no podcast. It's no emails. And for me, it's no social media. Right? And so, but I think it's really important, like, and this is my announcement to my team, by the way. I'm not going to have a one-on-one with my person enrolled, because I'm telling you guys all now, like, Saturdays are my day, which means I'm not going to be hosting anything at my house on Saturdays. And I know that there's quite a few people who are like, as soon as you do a weekend event, I'll be there. And I'm like, I'm not doing a weekend event. I'm not, because that's not because your work, right? Like, you're my friend, but you're also my business partner. And that means when I have my team over, that means we're coming over to work. And so that's just not going to be there. But you guys, if you have ever felt stressed out or overwhelmed, or like you just want to turn everything off, like, just drop me a 1 in the chat. Like, if you've ever been there and you're just like, I just need a break. And what if I always told you guys, well, you can't turn it off for a day. Turn it off for an hour. I always say that. Turn it off for an hour and come back to it, right? Like, that's always been what I've taught. I'm sorry. Like, and I'm just going to come to you guys and now say, I'm sorry. Like, I absolutely, like, for 7 years, we've been like, hustle, 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 let's go. And that's what I've been doing. But there's so many people, like, every single one of you should be dropping a 1 right now, because you probably have been in a place, if you're working your business consistently and seriously, that you're just like, like, I just can't take it anymore, right? And you just need to turn it off. And I love, like, how Patty was like, she just felt like excited and rejuvenated and refreshed. And you guys, like, you literally just need to trust the process and let God put the super on your natural. Now, if you're not doing any work, there's nothing to bless. So that's a totally different story. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But think about Chick-fil-A. So most fast food restaurants are open 7 days a week, and the majority of them are open 24 hours a day. Okay? The average fast food restaurant grosses $1 million a year. Then there's Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is open 6 days a week, because their founder stated, I think it was like 1964 that he founded it, something like that. And he said, we are going to take a Sabbath. Everything will be closed on Sundays. Our workers will have Sundays off, always. They're open 6 days a week from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Okay? Very, very set schedule. The average Chick-fil-A does $5 million a year. If that's not favor, I don't know what is. All these other restaurants are out here trying to hustle until they die. They're trying to work their people to death. And Chick-fil-A's like, nope, we're good. And you guys, they have the happiest employees. They have the cleanest restaurants. They have the best food. Like, everybody wants to go to Chick-fil-A because their employees are out there sweating with their masks on and everything and going, my pleasure. Because they love their jobs, right? We just love Chick-fil-A. Okay, so we've got to watch one more segment. Like I said, we're talking to those of you who are working daily. And if you're plugging into this Zoom and you're plugging into things consistently, that's probably you, or you're at least getting inspired to work daily, which is a step, but now it's time to actually put in the activity. But we are going to watch, we're going to watch a little segment. So stay tuned. If you're highly offended, you might want to hop off now. No, I'm just kidding. Don't hop off. Okay, give me just a second. And then I'm going to screen share with you guys. All righty, where's my Zoom? Screen share.
These other songs, and he took it to #1 on the charts. Why? Because I honored.
Check out how cool these are. These are bright LED lights that you put into your.
Oh, whoops.
God, what are you working for that God can already provide? What are you toiling for that God says, if you would just trust me, if you just trust me with it, I'll do it in your life. Now, I do need to address in this last 5 minutes of the message that if you are a bum or lazy, I just have to address it because, this generation is woohoo, a little different. We work a job for 5 days and I didn't like the manager. It's just real. Come on now. Can we be real? We have no longevity. We don't even want contracts for our phones because I might switch up on you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so if you're a bum or you're lazy, there's clear things in the word about that too. So I'm not going to spend my message talking on it, but I want you to go check out Proverbs 6 and 9. And I'm going to read it from the Message version so that you can just hear the spirit of the Lord. He said, "You lazy fool." Look at the ant. He said, you're so lazy, I'm going to take you to the lowest level, strongest worker that I created. Okay, I'm going to give you a lesson from the ant. Look at the ant and watch closely. Come here, fool. No, that's what he said. It said, let it teach you a thing or two. Nobody has to tell it what to do. If you're living and you're waiting for somebody to tell you what to do, you need to take a lesson from the ant. That's a whole nother message. Take a lesson. I might preach that next week. It says all summer, when it's sun's out, guns out, and everybody's doing all summer, it stores up food. At harvest, it stockpiles provisions. So how long are you going to laze around doing nothing? How long before you get out of bed? A nap here, a nap there, a day off here, a day off there. See, it didn't say a day off. It say a day off here and a day off there. You're doing it every time you can. It says, sit back, take it easy. Do you know what comes next? Just this. You can look forward to a dirt poor life. Poverty will be your permanent house guest. Ouch. That's all I'm going to say about that. So,
Okay, like I said, if you're highly offended, hopefully you're still with us. Okay, Brittany, what else?
Sorry, y'all. Oh my gosh. My phone is blowing up. I could not keep up. I'm sorry. My mind's seriously all over the place right now. Okay. So, gosh, girl, it's just, for me, I just feel like this hits home because after 8 years in this business, I truly believe every one of us deserves that day off. Every single one of us does. And so I hope and I pray that each of you guys will truly, whether you're a Christian and, you have, religious beliefs, or, you have other beliefs, I just pray that each of you guys will really take that day, whether it's Sunday, whether it's Saturday. I loved it because one of my diamonds just messaged me and she said, all right, girl, my day's Saturday. If yours is Sunday, I'll manage the page on Saturday. I'll manage the page Sunday if you will manage it Saturday. So Victoria is going to be managing the page for me on Sunday, and I'm going to be helping her out on Saturday. So work that out, you guys. Work it out with your leaders. Work it out with your team, and get the rest that you guys need so you're not burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it.
I'm super excited. So how many of you guys are excited? How many of you are like freaking out right now and you're like having anxiety about putting your phone away for an entire day? I want honesty because I want to know. Yeah. Michelle, Victoria. Yeah. You guys, like, this is going to be so good, but this is the thing, is it's going to be a discipline because it's something that we're not used to, and any shift in your routine requires discipline to actually do it. So if you are going to have trouble with, if you're going to have trouble with staying off your phone, you should just turn it off completely. Okay. Or you can delete your Facebook app, your Facebook and your Messenger app. Delete all your social media apps if that's what you need to do. You can also go in, if you think you're going to have a little bit more willpower, you can just go in and you can turn off your notifications for the day, or you can move those apps to a different folder that's in the back of your home, the back of your phone. But really, like, let's not be on our phone at all, because what do you guys need to be doing? Most of the people on here are moms. You guys, you need to take the time on your Sabbath to like look in your baby's eyes and go get on the ground and play with them and go do fun things that don't involve electronics, because fun without electronics is actually a thing, right? But we're always there, like, with our phones. And I told Dusty, I was like, I still want to be able to have my phone to like take pictures, but I think I'm just going to like log out of everything, because, and I know that I personally have a lot of willpower. So like, if I see a notification, I can just ignore it. I've gotten really good at that over the years, but I don't even want to see them. Like, I don't want to know if there's drama. I don't want to know if somebody's about to quit. I don't want to know if a customer hates their products and they want to come. Like, I don't even want it in my headspace. I don't want anything. I'm like, I don't want to think about it at all. So the idea is that you will do absolutely nothing with your business for one solid day. And then, you guys, this is the important part. For 6 other days, you're going to be consistent and you're going to be disciplined. And you're going to do the work. You're going to get 10 haps up a day. You're going to follow up. You're going to contact your current customers, all of the things. You can't just say, I'm going to take a Sabbath and then I'm just going to work whenever I want. That's not really how that works. There's nothing for God to bless there. And he wants to bless you. He wants to bless you abundantly, but he can't do that if you're not putting in the work. Okay. So don't be the lazy fool, be the ant. We want to be the ant that's storing up provision all summer long. When everybody else is over here at the pool, you can be at the pool signing some customers. Brittany's going to be at the beach signing customers, right?
Absolutely, girl. You already know.
I know. She's like kicking my butt. She's at the beach and she's already signed way more people this month than I have. So you guys, I'm just excited. So if you're my personally enrolled, I want you to message me. And maybe you need to take some time. So all of you on here, take some time. Watch the sermon. Watch the replay with Rachel Wiggum if you haven't. I posted like 3 times already, so you can find the link. Then get with your sponsor and be like, okay, this is my thoughts. This is going to be my day. And you guys, I will honor that for you, and you'll honor that for me. If you don't honor it for me, you still won't hear from me because my phone will be turned off. But we're going to honor that for each other, okay? And we're also going to be there to support you. So like, you're going to have the support system that you need. You're going to have leaders there that are going to be there to answer your questions. So it's not like you guys are going to be left high and dry. That's the important thing, is to know, like, we want you perfectly cared for, but we as leaders can care for you better if we've taken time for ourselves and our relationship with Jesus and our husbands and our kids, and everything just gets better. So anyway, We didn't have time for a Power 30 tonight because we had a lot of other content to get into, but hopefully this was super impactful for you guys. I shared the YouTube link in the comments. If you guys want to grab that, I'll also post it on the team page, and Brittany's got it as well. So thanks for hopping on tonight, and I'm just excited to hear all the testimonies that are going to come from this change of pace. So anyway, we will talk to you guys next Tuesday.
Bye, guys. See
Bye.
ya.